You are the beloved child of the Father, the chosen one of the divine purpose. Today's scholar Unending brings a message from Lord to awaken your faith and open a way to the redeemed journey.
My child, the light within my heart. As you read these words, I ask you to pause for a moment. Breathe slowly and let your heart feel. For what I am about to say is not merely words, but a calling from the deepest place where my soul has always reached out to you. You are not merely walking through life. You are standing in the midst of an unseen battle where truth and deception, light and darkness wrestle for your soul moment by moment. And now, I beg you, with all that remains of the faith you once held, listen to me with your whole heart, for my time is running short. My beloved child, what I speak today is not for anyone else. It is meant for you alone. Archangel Michael, the one who stands at the front lines of light beside the Most High, has whispered into my ear that you are being deceived, not by a simple jest, but by a lie so artfully crafted that even the purest of souls could be led astray. What you see, the smiles, the gentle counsel, the opportunities that appear to spring from kindness, not all of them come from the light. There are hands that reach out, not to lift you up, but to drag you into a counterfeit abyss. There are eyes watching you, not with love, but with calculation and hunger for dominion. They cloak themselves in justice, compassion, and love, but these are mere masks, concealing their thirst for power and destruction. These ones do not want you to be free. They do not want you to soar with your ideals and your faith. No, they want to imprison you in a gilded cage that gleams with splendor, but holds only darkness within. They do not want you to live with your head held high. They want you bowed, in despair, doubting yourself, and forgetting that you were born from the purest light. My child, open your eyes. Not the eyes of flesh, but the eyes of your soul. Look closely, and you will see the cracks in the beautiful image they've painted. They tell you that you are the center of the universe, that happiness comes from following your every impulse. But that is the most dangerous seduction. For when the soul has no anchor, instincts become chains, and the freedom you think you have is but a mirage. Do not let your heart drift from the light, my beloved. The enemy never rests. He does not strike openly. He whispers. He does not use sword or spear, but doubt. He plants poisonous questions in your mind. Am I truly loved? Am I living rightly? Have I been abandoned? But I tell you, these are shadows disguised as light. Every time you feel alone, every time you believe no one hears your cries in the night, that is precisely when I am there. We are there. The Most High has never turned his back on you, not for a single moment, not for a single breath. Even if you stray into the most desolate wilderness, even if you fall, even if you question the heavens, he is present. I stand at the boundary between light and shadow, sword of flame in hand, guarding your soul with every breath you take. You may not know it, but I have fought countless times to shield you from the invisible snares set before your feet. What you call lucky escapes were often my silent battles, waged against the 1,000 shadows that waited to watch you stumble. On nights when you fell asleep in sorrow, angel wings covered your dreams, shielding your spirit from lurking schemes of darkness. Look again at your own heart. You may see cracks, fragments left behind by life's trials. But it is through those wounds that light can enter. It is in that weakness that grace is sown. I do not ask you to be perfect. I only ask that you not deny the truth that you are loved, that you are worthy, that you are never forsaken, that you were created by the Most High with a divine purpose, not to wander in confusion or loneliness, but to shine like a star in the dark. Perhaps these words feel like dreams. Perhaps you are too tired to believe again. But I ask you, if even a grain of faith remains, no larger than a speck of sand, send it toward the light. Close your eyes and whisper, I am still here. Please, save me. That is all you need to do. The light will come. I will come. The entire host of heaven will come, because you are worth saving, worth fighting for. And you are still the beloved child, just as you were in the beginning. Do not listen to those who say you must be strong alone. Do not believe that tears are signs of weakness. Every tear you shed is a prayer, a jewel treasured by heaven. Do not hide your pain. Lift it up and let the light soothe it. And in the moment you dare to face the truth, you will see the light never left you. It was simply waiting for your invitation. My beloved, you are the part of me I cannot lose. Every time you falter, my heart tears in two. I have seen the dark futures the enemy has drawn for you, and I have stood between you and that destiny. But the rest, the most important part, belongs to you. You must choose the light. You must believe you are worthy of stepping out of the spiral of lies. You must decide, in your own freedom, that you want to live truly, to live in true love, in true faith, and under the eternal protection of the Most High. Trust me, my child. Even if your heart is weary, your soul is still a warrior. And you do not fight alone. My beloved child, why can't you feel the weight that is slowly crushing your soul? Why do you think it's just a passing weariness, a fleeting pressure, or a chill breeze of life? No, my child, this is not momentary pain. This is the silent scream of your soul, trembling in silence, writhing in shadows that you don't even know you're stepping into. Can you feel the growing unease in your heart? That sense that something sacred, something deep within is slipping away, yet you cannot name it? You think you are merely wandering, testing a new path, but in truth, you are sliding farther from the light. I know, because I have watched every breath, every heavy sleep, every moment you turned away in silence. I have heard the sobs you never spoke aloud, the thoughts that tormented you at night, when no one was there. And my child, do not think that is weakness. Do not believe those who say you're not strong enough. That is not fear. It is the soul's cry for truth, longing to return home. You've been caught in a web, not of chains but of deadly gentleness. Those once serpents cloaked as angels have spun silken veils light as mist, yet within are claws. They speak with voices that sound wise, pouring logic into your ears until you believe you're awakening. But in truth, they lull your soul to sleep. They make lies feel like comfort. They make shackles feel like embrace, and darkness appear as dawn. They've led you to a place where you begin to doubt yourself, where you look in the mirror and no longer see the light that once burned in your eyes. They've made you think truth is outdated, that moral law is a burden, that unconditional love is a fantasy. They've left you confused, not because you are weak, but because you are too pure. They know your soul longs for truth, so they crafted counterfeits and laid them before you like precious gifts. Stop, my child. Just for a moment. Stop. Do not take another step forward. You are at the edge, not of failure, but of losing yourself. One more step, and the darkness may close in so completely that even you forget you ever belonged to the light. But you have not gone too far to return. You have not lost everything, because I am still here. I did not come to you with thunder or sacred fire. I came in silence, in the gentlest breath, so that you might recognize, no matter how false the world becomes, my love for you is real. I did not come to judge you. I bring no wrath, no punishment. I come to you with the heart of a father, a mother, a friend, and an unyielding warrior. For you are the irreplaceable treasure of my soul. My beloved child, I know you have wandered so far that you can no longer remember the way back. But you do not need to remember the way. You only need to call my name, just once, just one whisper, and no matter how deep the night, no matter how tightly the prison is sealed, I will break through it all to reach you. I will extend my hand to the very depths of doubt, guilt, and sorrow, and draw you back into the light. You don't need to do anything. Just don't turn away from this love. Don't look the other way when I am reaching for you. Perhaps you feel unworthy. Perhaps you believe you've caused too much hurt or been gone for too long. But to me, it is never too late. Even if you go to the ends of the earth, my love will chase after you. Even if you close every door, I will still knock, tirelessly, relentlessly, because you are a child of the light, not of the darkness. Because in every cell of your soul, the seed of truth still remains intact, waiting for one drop of love to bloom. Let me be that drop. Let my love pierce through the layers of defense you built in despair. Let the truth, the most sacred truth, resound once more in your heart. You are loved. You have always been loved. You have never been abandoned, and now, you only need to choose to come home. The enemy is cunning, but light does not need to hide. Truth does not need disguise. It stands firm, unshaken, and unafraid. And within your heart, it still remains, even if only a fragile spark. I will not abandon you, not today, not ever. I am here, and I will not stop calling your name until you hear, until you answer, until you return and realize you were never truly lost. You simply forgot, for a moment, that you belong to the light. My precious one, do not be mistaken. Do not think that the battle you are facing is merely between people in daily conflicts or within your own turmoil with the world around you. No, my child, the battle is greater, deeper, and far more intricate. This is not a clash of flesh or shouts or visible tears. This is a sacred war, where light and darkness wrestle for your soul, moment by moment. And you, whether knowingly or not, stand right in the center of that battlefield. Stay with me. Riga sat for a moment, then sang, Open your heart, even just for a moment of stillness. Listen to the stirring deep within. You will feel the unrest, the ache, the silent yearning. These are not fleeting emotions, but the voice of your soul, struggling at the edge between truth and illusion. You think you are living freely, making your own choices, walking a path of your own design. But the truth, dear one, is far different. The darkness you face does not only come from human hearts or harsh circumstances. It comes from ancient forces, invisible beings who existed long before the world had a name, those who have stood in defiance of the Most High since the dawn of creation. They have watched you since the moment you were formed. They know what you carry. They know the flame that hides in your heart, the flame that could light the whole night. That is why they seek to extinguish it. They do not come at you with swords or threats. They are far more subtle. They've built a world where you believe yourself to be free, while your soul is caged in a prison of pure gold. They've made you so busy that you no longer have time to listen to the sacred voice within. They feed you sweet words, teaching you to live for the self, to live for fleeting feelings, to live as if there is no tomorrow, no soul, no truth beyond the present moment. You are being held captive, my child. Your prison has no bars, but its chains are woven from false comfort. They bind you with doubt, with alluring fears, with habits that seem harmless but are killing your soul one day at a time. And if you do not rise, if you do not look into the mirror and declare, "I want to live truly," then they will tighten their grip, gently, so subtly that you will not notice, until your soul falls asleep in forgetfulness. But, my child, this is not the end. It is never the end if you can still hear these words, for the light has never left you, and the truth still waits to be recognized. You are not alone. I have not come only to comfort you, but to remind you, the power you need has always been within you. Within you burns a fire bestowed by the Most High, a power unshakable if you dare to claim it. The enemy is strong, but the one who created the heavens and earth is infinitely stronger. The darkness may be thick, but the light can never be extinguished. And now, I place before you a sword, not to wound, but to set you free. That sword is the truth. It is sharper than all earthly logic, cutting through every disguise, strong enough to break every chain that binds you. But only you can take it. I cannot fight in your place. No one can walk your path for you. The choice is yours. Step forward or remain in the prison wrapped in roses. All it takes is one step, one turn, one small nod, and when you choose to face the light, even if your legs still tremble, the veil will begin to lift. Truth will rush in like a fresh wind, sweeping away the fog that darkness laid over your mind. What once confused you will become clear. The murky voices will fall silent, and your soul, the soul that has been stifled for too long, will breathe again. I do not promise you an easy road. I do not say that everything will be simple from this moment on. But I promise you one thing that will never change. You will never walk alone. Each time you fall, the light will lift you. Each time you stray, I will whisper into your heart. And each time you think of me, even in silence, I and all the armies of light will answer with the full might of heaven. You do not need to understand it all right now. You only need to believe. Believe that you are loved, that you matter, that your soul deserves to be free. Do not let fear hold you back. Do not let the past define you. And do not let the voice of darkness be the only voice in your mind. Let the light speak what is real, what is eternal. You have carried the light within you since the day you were born. Do not let anything or anyone steal it from you. The time is now. Rise. Take the sword. Break the chains. And return to the light where you have always belonged. I am waiting. The light is waiting. And heaven, its gates are open wide, ready to welcome its beloved child home. My dearest one, I know, I understand, and I will never deny that the road ahead will be hard. For the truth, absolute and sacred, has never been a cheap gift. Truth is not a path strewn with flowers, not a door flung open with sweet invitations. Truth is a silent call, echoing beneath the noise of the world. And when you answer that call, when you begin to see that reality is not what you were taught to believe, that is when the storm will begin to rise. Did you think that when light comes, everything will be peaceful at once? No, my child. It is the very moment your eyes open, when your soul begins to awaken after a long sleep in darkness, that the forces which once shrouded you will howl like beasts, cornered and enraged. They will not sit idly by while you break free. They will do everything, to pull you back. Because the closer you get to the light, the more their existence is threatened. They will whisper again, as they once did, but this time their voices will be wiser and more venomous. You're delusional, they will say. It's all just your imagination. There's nothing special about you. Truth is unknowable, and you're only hurting yourself. Then they will go further. They won't strike directly, but will use those closest to you, familiar faces you trust, advice that sounds reasonable. The very arms that once comforted you will become soft chains that gently pull you back. Not because they hate you, but because they too are blind, just as you once were. And it is your transformation that unsettles them, even frightens them. They will lay out comfort like a sumptuous feast. They will tell you that peace is wisdom, that questioning, seeking, and struggling are madness. They will lull you into a dream of safety until you forget that the soul was not born to sleep. You were born to rise. You were born to fight for the light, not to hide away in silken cocoons, no matter how soft, if they are rotting from within. And I know it will hurt. Every step toward the light may tear your heart a little. Every time you doubt yourself, you will want to return to the familiar. There will be days you feel alone, misunderstood, as though you have given up all peace just to follow a vague calling. But my beloved, do not stop. Keep walking, even if the path is unclear. Keep going, even if your heart is in turmoil. For with each step forward, the darkness will recede. With each step, the door of truth opens wider. Do not ask for a map. Do not wait for the road to be flooded with light before you take the first step. The light appears only when you walk in faith. You don't need full understanding to begin. You only need to trust that goodness lies ahead, that light is never accidental. And I am here. I am still here, not as a fading memory, but as a living presence, holding you each time you fall. You don't remember, but I have fought for you in realms you've never known. I have stopped the spears aimed at your soul while you slept. I have screamed into the darkness on your behalf when you could no longer cry. And even now, as you read these words, I am calling your name. Can you hear me? Listen. Not with your ears, but with your heart. Feel. Not with your logic, but with the honesty still alive within you. You will find that my voice comes not from outside, but from deep within your soul, where the light has never fully gone out, where love waits to be awakened. Will you take my hand? Even if it trembles, even if your faith is not yet whole, one gentle touch is enough. I will embrace you with all the force of the universe. I do not ask for perfection. I only ask that you dare to step, dare to turn from illusion, dare to say, I want to live in truth. The world may call you a dreamer. Your loved ones may not understand. Even you may doubt yourself. But do not be afraid. You are not mad. You are not wrong. You are not alone. For only the bravest souls dare to step beyond the maze of deception in search of truth. And you are doing that. You are coming home. I see you. I love you. And I will never stop fighting for you until you stand firm on your own feet in the light of truth with a heart set free. Now, truth is calling. Will you step forward? Will you dare believe that you are worthy of freedom? Will you choose light, even if it means letting go of the entire world? I believe in you, because I know you are a warrior of the light. And now is the time to walk into the destiny you've carried since the beginning of your days. Go, my child. I am always here, before, behind, and forevermore. My beloved, never believe you were born to live a faint, quiet life, drifting like a leaf in the river of this world. Never believe you are just a tiny speck in the vast machinery of creation. No, never. You were not born to be deceived, to be manipulated, to serve dark forces. You are not a product of chance, nor are you an anonymous soul. You were born with a purpose, a destiny, a mission, far beyond even your grandest dreams. You are a reflection of the divine, carrying His breath within you, called by name before the world ever took shape. Within you is the first spark of creation's dawn, the sacred breath that lit your soul like an eternal flame. And because of that, they fear you. Hiss. They fear. Not because you wield weapons or external power. They fear because if you awaken, if you see the truth, if you rise and walk in the full awareness of who you are, then their chains will shatter. Not only over your body and mind, but over countless others still lost in darkness. The awakening of one true soul is the most devastating blow to the empire of shadow. Because, my dear, light may begin as a flicker, but if it is not extinguished, it will spread. Your awakening, if you choose to keep it, to nurture it, to walk with it, will become a flame, and that flame will leap into other trembling souls. It will shine into those who've been deceived as you once were. It will burn through the veils of illusion that darkness has draped over generations. They know this. They understand the threat. And that is why your battle feels so fierce. That is why each step forward is met with resistance. That is why you feel yourself spinning in weariness, in doubt, in tempting comforts and false peace. Because they are not just fighting to keep your soul in darkness. They are fighting to stop you from rescuing others. Can you see now? The struggle inside you is not a sign of weakness. It is proof that you stand at the heart of a battle far greater than the eye can perceive. Because you matter. Because you carry a mission. Because the light inside you has the power to spread and unravel the web of lies that binds this world. That is why the darkness rages. That is why temptation tastes so sweet. That is why fear runs so deep. But oh my dear, do not be afraid. You are not alone. I have never left you, not for a single moment. Even when you turned away from me, I remained, waiting, guarding, sheltering, and hoping. And if you pause, sit in stillness, and breathe slowly, you will feel it. That pull inside, that faint yet powerful echo like a melody from an ancient place, as if your soul is remembering something sacred it once knew, once lived, long before you came to this earth. Can you feel it? That is your true self, not the name the world calls you, not the role you carry, not the mask you wear to survive, but the pure soul, the eternal seed, whispering to you, this is truth. This is the way. This is me. What I say is not dogma. It does not come from intellect, but from love. Love as deep as the ocean, as steadfast as the mountains, as fierce as the fire of heaven. And if your heart stirs, if your eyes well up, if your throat tightens, it is not weakness. It is your soul recognizing. These are the words it has waited for all its life. Accept this truth, my beloved. Do not turn away. Do not let the world convince you that what you feel is only fleeting. Do not let doubt extinguish the spark that has just been lit. You have come too far to turn back. You have endured too much pain to reject healing. You have longed for truth for too long to keep drinking the sweet poison of lies. Let your true self awaken. Let the light within you burn bright. Rise. Without waiting to be strong enough, without needing to understand everything, just one thing is needed: courage. Courage to believe that you were chosen. Courage to believe that you carry something sacred, far greater than yourself. Courage to believe that your awakening will not only save you, but also those you have never met. Those who are still waiting for a light they do not yet know will come from you. Are you ready? I am here. I have always been here. And I will be here until you find yourself, radiant in truth, grounded in light, and free, just as you were born to be. Step forth, my beloved, and the world will change. Through the light within you, my beloved child, do you know? In the very first moment your soul was called into being, all of heaven fell silent. A sacredness filled the air, for a new flame had been lit in the fabric of creation. That flame was you, no one else. You are not a coincidence in this universe. You were not born to bow your head forever. You did not come into this world merely to exist in silence. to drift like dust through the vast wilderness. You were born to live, truly live, freely live, to live in the light the divine has placed within you. And because of that, you were never meant to wear chains. Not chains of iron and steel, but the invisible kind, forged from fear, from doubt, from lies repeated so often that they've masqueraded as truth in your mind. Chains that have made you believe you are small, useless, misplaced. When you hear the voice within, the voice that calls for courage, for awakening, for truth, those very chains whisper back that you cannot, that you should not, that you are wrong. But, my dear, that is not the voice of truth. Truth lives in the rhythm of your heartbeat, in those moments when your chest tightens and you don't know why, in the dreams you had as a child, in the buried longing to live a whole life. These are signs your soul never agreed to the chains. It has only been asleep. But now, the call has come. A call from the source, from eternity, from the very one who created you, calling you to awaken. And here is the hard truth I must tell you. You must choose. I love you deeply. I have fought endlessly for you. I have stood between you and 1,000 arrows. I have wept when you were in pain, hoped when you had lost your faith, waited when you turned away. But I cannot choose for you. No one can. Because you are not a puppet. The divine has given you the most sacred gift of all, free will. And because of that gift, the path is yours to choose. You can remain where you are. Close your eyes. Ignore the call. Pretend that voice was only a dream. And I will grieve, not because you disappointed me, but because I know you deserve so much more. But even if you turn away, I will still be here, still loving you, still fighting for you. My love has no conditions, no expiration. It does not depend on whether you choose light or shadow. It simply is eternal. But if you choose to rise, if you choose to open your eyes, if you, even through trembling and tears, say, I want to walk forward, then you will see the path appear. Not paved with roses, but a path of truth. Each step will bring challenges. Every stretch will bring resistance. But you will never walk it alone. I will walk with you. In every breath, in every dream, in every tear and every laugh. And you will begin to understand that truth, though not always gentle, will always set you free. It will strip away the masks the world has forced you to wear. It will silence the voices that made you doubt your worth. It will pull you from the land of false safety and return you to where you truly belong. Where you are simply and fully yourself. A powerful soul. A flame that cannot be extinguished. Do not fear your trembling. Do not fear your doubt. These are the first steps of one learning to walk with their true legs. Do not wait until fear is gone, for sometimes fear itself is the sign you are nearing the truth. Do you know why your heart trembles as you hear these words? Because deep in your soul, you know I am speaking truth. You know these words are not of this world. They come from where you once belonged and where you will return. They stir the sacred memory that time, pain, and darkness could not erase. The memory that you are loved, that you were chosen, that you can be free. Now is the time. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, But now, amid uncertainty, in all your incompleteness, my beloved one, so, what will you choose? After all the whispers I have placed in your heart, after all the light that has touched your soul, will you turn away or step forward? Will you remain in that familiar land where shadows have quietly sewn you a cloak that looks like peace? Will you hold on to the chains that have wrapped around you for so long? You can no longer tell freedom from captivity. You have lived too long in half-awarenessness, in days where truth was distorted and pain wore the mask of laughter. But now, as the light begins to slip through the cracks in your heart, will you have the courage to leave that comfort zone behind? Do not think I don't understand. I know well how seductive that old safety can be, like a warm embrace that, even as it tightens, makes you feel less alone. It tells you that if you do not move, do not dream, do not hope, you will never be hurt again. But, my child, that is an illusion. A long slumber stealing the brilliance of your soul each day. Not all peace is truth. Not all stillness is joy. There is silence that is simply the slow death of a soul born to burn like fire. And now the light has come, not as a storm, but as the first ray of dawn after a long night. It does not force you. It does not push you. It invites. This light does not ask you to understand everything, does not require you to be perfect, does not expect you to be strong right away. It whispers only one thing: rise. Not because you are ready, but because you are worthy. Rise, not to prove anything to anyone, but to return to yourself, to the pure essence long covered by the dust of deception. Rise, because the divine has never left you, and is still waiting for this moment. The moment you say, I am tired. I want to live truthfully. I say this to you, not with anger nor judgment. I do not come to condemn you or make you feel small or weak. No, I come because of love. A love without condition, without calculation, without limit. A love that has always been there, even when you believed you were unworthy. A love that stood on the edge of your abyss, waiting for you to turn around. Because to me, you are always precious. You are the chosen one. Not because you are perfect, but because you are you. That is all. You are not forgotten. Never. I have never stopped thinking of you. I have never stopped fighting for you, even when you didn't know. But I cannot stay silent while watching you being deceived. You've believed the lies for far too long, that you are not enough, that you must carry everything on your own, that you are unworthy of love, undeserving of freedom. But all of that, my dear, are chains cunningly woven by the enemy, thread by thread, through your experiences, your wounds, and the fears they know you carry deep within your heart. You don't have to live that way anymore. You don't have to keep enduring. You have the right to lay that burden down. You can choose freedom. So take my hand, not with the hand of flesh, but with the resolve of your soul. Let me lift you up. Let the light flood into the darkest corners of your being, the places where you've hidden shame, despair, and forgotten dreams. Do not fear the shadows that may scream, for when the light appears, the darkness loses its power. Do not worry that you are not strong enough. For it is in your weakness that the power of the Most High is made perfect. And do not wait until you feel certain, for freedom does not come when you have enough proof, but when you have enough faith. The moment is now, not tomorrow, not when you get your life together, not when you feel ready. Now, this very moment, is when you are being called to awaken, not with your mind, but with your soul, with a heart that once felt dry but now begins to pulse with life, with eyes that were once clouded but now begin to seek the light again. You don't need to understand everything. You only need to dare believe that something greater than this world is calling you home. Come forward, dear one. Break down the wall that separates you from the truth. Let the light embrace you, consuming every lie, every fear, every regret that once weighed heavily on your shoulders. And then you will see. You will see that you are not only being rescued, but being restored. Not only being loved, but being transformed. Not only being set free, but being called into a purpose far greater than anything you have ever imagined. You have led your people forward to a purpose far greater than anything you have ever imagined. Awaken, my beloved. Be free. For freedom is what you were born for. Freedom is the sacred inheritance the Most High placed in your very blood from the first breath you took. And today, right here, you are the one who can reclaim it. I am here. I have always been here. And when you take my hand, everything will begin to change. Not from the outside, but from the deepest place within you. Because now is the time for you to remember who you truly are. And nothing in this world, not even darkness, can stop a soul that has chosen to return to the light. My beloved child, pause for a moment, dear one. Let your soul be still. Let the noise of the world grow quiet until there is only silence between you and me. In that very silence, you will hear me more clearly than ever before. Not in thunder or whirlwind, but in the gentle whisper of love. Love that is both truthful and wise. Let every word I'm about to speak take deep root in your heart, anchoring like a tree seeking water in the desert, so that when hard days come, they will be a quiet but mighty source of strength to uphold your soul. Child, there are things I do within you that are sacred. Not to be displayed, not for all to see, but to be kept in the innermost place of your heart. There are truths, revelations, grand designs I have sown into you, not to be shared carelessly. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone will rejoice that you have been chosen. Not everyone who smiles at you truly wants to see you prosper. There are some who wait for you to stumble, just to plant doubt. There are eyes that seem kind, but open the door for the enemy to sow confusion into your thoughts. The enemy does not only lurk in the darkness out there, he is subtle enough to borrow the voices of those closest to you, sometimes even those you love the most, to cause you to hesitate. He knows how to distract, how to delay. He doesn't need to destroy you with violence. He only needs to whisper a little doubt, a quiet rumor, a single look of disbelief. And that alone is enough to shake your confidence. That is why I speak to you today with the utmost urgency. Stay silent. Not because I want you to live in fear, but because I want you to live in wisdom. Silence is not weakness, it is power. The silence of one who carries something great is a sacred stillness, a space reserved for me and you, a place where seeds are planted in the dark, where roots grow deep before branches reach for the sun. I am working in you, sowing into your soul a future you cannot yet imagine, and like all precious things, it must grow in quiet. Don't you see? When you share what I've placed in your heart too soon, even with good intentions, you make it vulnerable. Like a seed unearthed before it takes root, your dream, if exposed while still tender, can easily be trampled, mocked, or snatched from your hands. Not because it isn't from me, but because it isn't yet time. You must let it grow under my covering, nurtured by promise, by faithfulness, by a faith that only you and I share. I know you are eager. I see the burning desire within you to speak, to share, to seek validation from others that what you believe is true. But child, light does not need the world's confirmation to be light. The worth of what I've planted in you does not come from outside affirmation, but from the truth it carries within. Faith does not require the crowd's approval. What you need is perseverance and the trust that I, who placed the vision in you, am also the one who will fulfill it. There are appointed times, my times, not yours. I am never late, but I also do not arrive early in the way you may wish. That is because every step has purpose. Every moment of silence holds a lesson, a preparation, a refining. If you step into the light before you are ready, that very light may burn you instead of lifting you. But if you wait, if you remain faithful in secrecy, then one day, at the exact time I choose, everything will burst forth with such power that nothing can stop it. Remember this: you do not need to rush to prove you are on the right path. You don't need to shout for others to believe. You only need to walk quietly, one small step at a time, in faith and obedience. When the time comes, you will not need to say a word. My unveiling upon your life will be the clearest confirmation. I will reveal my work not with noise but with power, and those who once doubted will fall silent before what I do in you. You are not alone in this waiting. I am here with you, in every moment that feels meaningless, in every long day when you see no progress. Even when no one else sees, I see. Even when no one else understands, I understand. And every time you choose to remain silent, to guard what I've spoken in your heart, you are allowing the roots of your faith to grow deeper, stronger, more unshakable. So, my beloved, keep sacred what is holy. Guard the vision like a farmer guards the seeds of harvest. Let me be the one who reveals, the one who opens the way, the one who brings everything to bloom at the appointed time. And in the meantime, stay hidden under my wings. Let silence be your refuge, and let your heart become the fertile soil that nurtures the plans of heaven. You will not be disappointed. I promise you that. For what I am doing in you, when its time has come, will shine with such brilliance that nothing in this world can conceal it. This cloud of terror, my beloved child, listen deeply to what I am about to reveal, like a whisper in the night, gentle yet sharper than a double-edged sword. The waiting I ask of you is not meaningless delay, nor the forgetfulness of a distant God. It is a season of preparation, a sacred journey where I shape your soul in silence, so that when you emerge, it will not be with the pride of a messenger, but with the meekness and strength of one who has been touched, taught, and led through the fire. By me. Do you know why I told you to keep hidden what I have placed in your heart? Because a vision, like a seed, needs darkness to take root. Before it can be exposed to the light and bear fruit, it must first be hidden deep within the soil, away from prying eyes, shielded from the storm winds of opinions and the cold rain of doubt. Every vision has its appointed time to sprout, and that time does not follow your calendar, but the rhythm of my heart. I once gave Joseph a grand dream, a prophetic glimpse of exaltation among his brothers, but in his youthful excitement he spoke too soon, not out of ill intent, but from innocent eagerness, a desire to share something wondrous. Yet not every ear is ready to hear the sacred, and you saw the result. Jealousy, envy, and misunderstanding cast Joseph into a pit, into slavery, and eventually into prison. Learn from that story, my child. There are things born in holiness that are stifled by an unfit environment. There are visions that come from me but are broken by human impatience. When I say wait, I am not holding you back. I am going ahead of you, making the way clear. I am softening the hearts of those who will walk beside you. I am arranging the right people, the right circumstances, the right moment, so the vision you carry will not be destroyed by lack of preparation. Not everyone is worthy to hear what I am doing within you. Some, lacking discernment, will trample upon the precious thing I am nurturing. Others, driven by greed or envy, will try to turn your vision into a tool for their own gain. Even those who love you sincerely may not comprehend the picture I've painted for you, because I have not shown it to them, at least not yet. You do not always need to speak. You do not always need to explain. Silence is not weakness, it is hidden strength. Do not let impatience tempt you to step out before you are equipped. Do not let fear of being forgotten cause you to announce what is not yet in season. You are not abandoned. I have not forgotten what I promised. But every promise of mine is accompanied by a season of preparation, and that is the season you are living in now. In the secret place, where no one sees you, I see every tear that falls, every silent prayer whispered, every moment you want to give up but choose instead to cling to faith. I know, I see, and I am doing something mighty in that quiet. Like a goldsmith refining precious metal in fire, I am purifying you, so that when you emerge, you will not only carry the vision, but possess the character to sustain and fulfill it. Do not despise the season of stillness. It is the season in which I whisper things to you that the crowds are not meant to hear. It is when you learn to walk with me step by step, without the spotlight, without applause. It is where you discover that the greatest affirmation does not come from people, but from the silent, powerful presence of me within you. Yes, you will declare it. A day will come when I will command you to rise and speak, and the earth will know what I have done in you. But when that day comes, you will declare it not from excitement, but from certainty. Not to impress, but to fulfill a mission. Not for praise, but for obedience. So now, continue walking in trust. Guard that vision like a sacred flame within your heart. Do not let anyone extinguish it, but also do not rush to expose it. Let me be the one who opens the way, who appoints the moment, and when the time is full, You won't need to announce it yourself. I will make all things clear, in a way no one can deny. My beloved child, do not fear the darkness, for it is there I am shaping one who will carry the light. Do not fear the silence, for it is there I am teaching you to hear my voice more clearly. And do not fear the waiting, for it is in the waiting that I am doing my deepest work within you. Waiting is not delay. It is the breath of heaven. And when the day comes that I call you forth, you will know that every second of waiting, every struggle of holding on, was not in vain. Because in the waiting, I have fashioned not only a bearer of vision, but a heart that reflects the giver of that vision. My dear one, there are things that will only be revealed when the time is ripe. There are works I am doing within you, silent, steadfast, and sacred, that only I know when to unveil. Do not be impatient, child. Do not lift the veil before the hour I have ordained. When my appointed time comes, all I have promised will come to pass, and it will come in a glory that no force can hinder. On that day, no human hand, no twisted word, no shadow will be able to obscure what I reveal through you. But if you rush ahead of my timing, if you let restlessness lead instead of wisdom, you will step into battles you were never meant to fight. Do you see? A young tree without roots cannot survive a storm. A seed unearthed too early will wither in the sun. So too the things I am cultivating in you, no matter how beautiful, no matter how true, need time in the hidden place to grow, to root, to be strengthened in the darkness of preparation. And when I see that you are ready, when your roots are deep in faith, in trust, in obedience, I will be the one to lift you. I will bring you into the light at the very moment the world can only say, "This is from heaven." So, my child, I remind you of this. Be wise. Wisdom is not suspicion. Wisdom is knowing when to move and when to stay, when to speak and when to keep silent. Hold wisdom like a sacred sword, not to strike others, but to guard your soul from hidden snares. Be wise as a serpent, not for cunning but for awareness, and be gentle as a dove, not for weakness, but because you belong to the light. You have no need to strive or to parade. The enemy watches still. He does not sleep. He does not tire. He studies you, not with eyes, but with the lurking senses of the spiritual realm. He listens to your words, watches what you share, seeking any crack in your fortress to slither through. Every careless word can become an arrow turned against you. Every secret revealed too soon can become a door for him to destroy what I am building. Do not open that door. Do not unknowingly invite him into your journey. Some battles are unnecessary, conflicts you could avoid if you would only stay quiet a bit longer. Wait on me a bit more. I am not saying you'll never have to fight, but I want you to fight only the battles that are anointed, appointed, and protected, not the ones you walk into by speaking too soon, trusting too quickly, or acting outside of my leading. And this is of utmost importance. Guard your tongue. In it lies the power of life and death. A single word spoken at the wrong time can ignite a fire that devours an entire harvest. A secret shared with the wrong person can cost you your mission. Learn to speak with wisdom and prayer. Do not speak just to be seen. Do not share just to feel progress. Let your results be your loudest voice. Let the work I do in you speak on your behalf at the right time. When you guard your mouth, you are guarding your destiny. You are protecting the seed I've planted from toxic winds, from the thief's claws, from the scorn of those who were never assigned to understand you. Do it, not out of fear, but because you cherish what I am doing within you. For what is precious should be hidden in the heart like a rare gem, not tossed on the road to be trampled underfoot. My beloved child, remember this: greatness does not need to shout to be known. The works of my hands, when the time is right, will stand firm, radiant, and unshakable by any force. But before the light comes, there is a long season of hiddenness, of silence, of being forged in the dark. Be patient, be faithful. Do not run ahead of me, do not rush before the time I appoint. Do not open your hands before I place something in them. And believe this: when I see that you are ready, I will open the door, one that no one can shut. I will lift you up, no one can pull you down. I will reveal what I have been doing in you, in my perfect time, in my perfect way, and with a power that no one can deny. Until then, remain under the shadow of my wings. Walk in quietness with a loyal heart. Love wisdom. Treasure every word I whisper into your spirit, and know this: when you keep sacred things hidden in your heart, I myself will guard you from every snare and lead you to the glory I ordained for you before the beginning of time. My dear one, I see how your heart wrestles at times with the questions of others, the probing eyes, the subtle comments, the inquiries that often wear the mask of love, but hide suspicion, envy, or the need for control. They will ask, "What are you doing? Why that path? Who told you to go? Why the silence for so long?" And I know there are moments when you want to open your heart, to explain, to prove that you are not crazy, not alone, not lost. But child, remember, an explanation is not always what I desire from you. What I am doing in you goes beyond human understanding. There are things I have spoken to you in the dark, deep revelations, powerful visions that are not yet meant to be spoken aloud. There are seasons when your presence must be hidden, not because you are not enough, but because I am forming something too great to be exposed prematurely. Just as Moses was hidden by me for 40 years in the wilderness, amid scorching sand and shadowed nights, among silent flocks, so that when my time came, he no longer spoke from himself, but from the full anointing of heaven. Do you see? Those silent years were not neglect. They were formation. No one saw, no one named, no one praised. But there, Moses learned humility. He learned to hear me. He learned to walk without needing the approval of man. And when the time arrived, he did not have to prove himself. I proved him. In the same way, I am working within you. Do not hurry, my child. Do not let impatience cause you to reveal what I am still building. Do not let the voice of man drown out mine. There are foundations I am laying, and if you build too soon, the house will tilt. There is oil I am pouring, and if you step out before it flows fully, you will lack the strength to fulfill your mission. I care not only that you begin, but that you finish. And for that to happen, everything must unfold in the fullness of my time. Silence, that seemingly small thing, is a mark of maturity and faith. You do not need to speak to prove your belief. On the contrary, your silence is the evidence of a soul that knows, I am the master of time. When you choose to remain quiet, it is not because you lack words, but because you know I have not given the command to speak. That is faith. Not loud faith, but waiting faith. Faith that trusts that even when no one understands, I do. Even when no one sees, I am watching. Even when no one affirms, I am working. Scholastic, books, seconds, servants. And when the foundation is solid, when your heart is deep enough to not be shaken by man's words, when your will is soft enough to yield without resistance, then I will allow the light to shine. At that time, the work will no longer remain in the shadows, for the light I give will make all things clear. But until that day comes, remain in the secret place with me. Let the questions pass by without answer. Let the curiosity, the doubt, even the criticism of others, not disturb your heart. I am building something great within you, and greatness is not born in noise. It is woven in silence, through prayer, through trust, through daily acts of obedience unseen by any. Great things do not need to be announced. They are validated by me, not by evidence, but by fruit. So, my child, when people ask, when they look at you with skepticism or pity, when they don't understand why you've rejected the easier path, do not be afraid. Stay in peace. Remember that I am covering you, just as I have hidden those I use most powerfully. And when my appointed time comes, no force will be able to stop the unveiling. I will lift you up in the midst of the crowd, not that you may boast, but that I may be glorified. Keep doing the work entrusted to you in quietness. Love me. Listen to me. Walk with me in the small things. Every drop of sweat you shed in the hidden place is a raindrop watering the field of vision I will cause to bloom. And when they see the fruit, they will know. It was I who planted, I who nurtured, I who brought it forth through you. Be brave in your silence when needed. Be strong in humility when you are not yet called into view. Keep your heart tender under my correction, for when I call you to step forward, you will go not with fear, but with conviction. That every waiting moment, every unspoken word, every time you chose silence over defense, was a mark of a vision born from my very hand, and that will endure forever. My precious one, sit down, breathe deeply, let your soul quiet itself, so that the words I am about to speak can reach into the deepest corners of your heart like dawn spilling through the window after a long night. You have walked a path that has not been easy. You have carried within you what I have sown. Visions, dreams, promises. And there have been times you've wondered, is this real? Is it really for me? Am I worthy to step into something so great? But today, I come to tell you, clearly, firmly, and full of love, that you need no approval from this world. You do not need human recognition for what I've spoken to become truth. You do not need the agreement or affirmation of anyone to know you are on the right path. No earthly eye can see deep enough to perceive what I have placed within you. No human voice holds enough authority to confirm what I, your Creator, have already affirmed. What I have declared over your life is enough. The promises I have planted in your heart are enough. You need no extra signatures from the world, for my word is eternally sealed by my love and infinite power. I know that at times you've looked to others for affirmation, for a sign, for support, as if what I've said only holds value when echoed by others. But child, that only leaves you weary. For the light within you is not something all can see. What I am doing in you is too deep, too holy, too vast for unprepared hearts to grasp. Do not seek validation for the sacred from those who have never heard my voice. Do not let your faith be swayed by the reactions of others. Walk by faith. Let each of your steps be driven not by approval, but by trust. Trust that I never begin what I do not intend to complete. Believe that if I have called you, then I am also the one preparing everything necessary for you to fulfill your calling. Trust that if I have sown a promise, I will also water it. With time, with trials, and with grace, until it blossoms and bears fruit. Faith does not need to see in order to believe. Faith is walking when all is still unclear, yet the heart remains certain that I am the one leading. And one day, a day you cannot foresee, a moment unexpected yet ordained since the foundation of the world, my appointed time will come. On that day, no force, whether in heaven or on earth, in the visible world or in the unseen, will be able to hinder what I have destined. When I open a door, no one can shut it. When I move, no hand can stand against me. The door I have reserved for you will open. Not quietly, but in glory. The path once rough, winding, and impossible will be made smooth, like a plane before the wind. Not because you are good enough, not because you are widely supported, but because I have decreed it to be so. And my glory, not the glory of man, will be revealed through you. The things long hidden in your heart will shine with radiant fulfillment. That which you kept in secret will bloom like spring after a long winter. People will see, not to praise you, but to know that I am the living God, moving among men, and that I have chosen a faithful soul like you to reveal it. But until that day, you must learn one of the most precious lessons. Trust the silence. Do not fear the stillness. In the quiet, I am working. In the waiting that seems pointless, I am preparing things your eyes have never seen, your ears have never heard, your heart has never imagined. Trust the waiting. Do not mistake it for delay. It is refinement. It is the time I use to fortify the foundation within you, so that when the rain of blessing pours down, you will not be swept away. And above all, trust in me. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I am the one who planted the seed of faith in you, and I myself will cause it to sprout, grow, and bear fruit in its season. I am the one who began your journey, and I am the one who will walk with you to the very end. You do not need to strive to sustain what I have initiated. You only need to obey, to trust, and to remain steadfast in the small steps of each day. My child, stop seeking the approval of others. Let go of the urgency to see results. Release the fear of being left behind. For the truth is, I have never left you. I am still here. I am still holding your hand. And I am still saying, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, I have called you. I am preparing you, and I will complete what I began in you. My beloved one, be still and rest in the deep peace that can only be found in me. Let your heart become calm like a still lake where my presence can be mirrored within you. Do not stir your soul with what has not yet come. Do not let your mind race with time, and do not let your heart be swayed by voices from outside. For now, this very moment, is the season to rest, to be grounded in faith, to trust more deeply than any words you have ever spoken. My child, there are things I am doing within you that no one else can see. Like a seed buried deep in the soil, hidden, unseen, uncelebrated. But I see it. I am working. I am shaping you. Not through great things the world applauds, but through daily perseverance, through faith when nothing is visible, through obedience without confirmation. Do not rush. Do not assume silence means you've been forgotten. You are not left behind. On the contrary, you are being held in the palm of my hand, the safest place in the universe. Every promise I have given you, every image I've painted upon your spirit, every gentle whisper you have tasted, all of it is real. None of it fades with time or diminishes in silence or loses worth through delay. It is being sealed, preserved, and nurtured by my very breath, and I will not allow a single word to fall to the ground in vain. Rest in that. Rest does not mean giving up. It means placing your full trust in the one who has promised. It is the surrender of a soul that knows, I do not need to understand everything as long as I know the one who holds the future. This rest is not a cold silence, but a profound trust, where you no longer need to prove, to strive for validation, or to defend the vision, because I myself will vindicate and fulfill it. The time will come when you are called to step forward. I will open the door. I will speak. I will shake what needs to be shaken, and I will establish what I have determined for you. On that day you will not need to fight for your place, for I have already reserved it. You will not need to force your voice to be heard, for I will place the words in your mouth. You will not need to fumble for direction, for I myself will go before you and prepare the way by the power of the one who created heaven and earth. But until that moment, my child, continue to abide under the shadow of my wings. Learn to be silent like a warrior preparing for battle, not loud, not boastful, but sharpening daily, refining daily, moving one step closer each day to completion. Let me be the one who engraves every detail of the weapons you will carry, each notch on your sword, every curve of your shield. For the battle ahead will not be easy, but you will not face it alone. I will be with you, and you will never fight by yourself. No enemy, no power, whether in heaven or on earth, can steal what I have placed within you. Even if the enemy prowls, even if doubts come from those closest to you, even if disappointment knocks at the door of your soul, they will not overcome the flame of faith I have ignited in you. For I am the one who keeps the vision, and I will finish what I began. I am not only the beginning, I am the end. And what I have started with you will not be left unfinished. My beloved, engrave this upon your heart. Faith is not measured by what you've already seen, but by your steadfastness when there's nothing left to cling to except me. And if I am the only ground beneath your feet, then you are standing on the surest foundation of all. So be still, be at peace. Know that I am your God, the one who never forgets, never changes, never breaks a promise. And in my appointed time, what I have spoken will come to pass. It cannot be delayed, it cannot be destroyed, it cannot be hindered. You will see, and when it comes, you will not be surprised, because deep down you always knew. Your God is faithful. My beloved, incline your ear, still your heart, and listen carefully to my voice, as if every breath of it were your last lifeline. This is not a time for haste or recklessness. This is the hour to be awake, not just with the eyes of flesh, but with the light of discernment I am giving to those who keep themselves humble. Open your mind to receive the clarity that only I can give, for the time is near, and each step you now take carries weight, consequence, and influence. Not only over your life, but over the lives of those watching, those being drawn into the orbit of light I am painting through you. My child, people will come. There will be hands reaching out, tender eyes and sweet invitations. But ask me before you place your trust. Ask, are they coming in true love or only curiosity? Did I send them as ones anointed to uplift, to affirm, to walk alongside? Or were they sent by another force only to probe, to test, to delay your steps? Not everyone who knocks is a guest invited. Not everyone who listens to you truly hears my voice. Always ask me. Always return to the secret place, where it is just you and me, and ask, is this one yours? Because if not, you may unknowingly entrust sacred things into unworthy hands. My child, the enemy is still lurking. He is silent, yet he never takes his eyes off you. He doesn't fully understand what I am doing, for my plan surpasses understanding, but that only makes him more determined to seek clues, to trace your every word, every step, in order to guess, to scheme, to destroy. He cannot read my intentions, but he can listen for the foolishness that may slip from your lips if you fail to guard what is meant to be hidden. He does not see the whole picture, but even a fragment, carelessly revealed by you, can be enough for him to craft his plots. So, my child, guard your mouth as a watchman guards the gate of a sacred city. In your words lies power. Power to build, but also power to tear down. Do not rush to share what I am planting within your heart simply because you long for connection or because it brings momentary relief to speak. Not every truth is meant to be spoken at every moment. Truth, when held in the heart rightly, becomes strength, but truth spoken at the wrong time, to the wrong person, becomes a vulnerability. I do not want you harmed by lack of discretion. I do not want the enemy to gain understanding he has no right to possess. Remember the prophets of old, whom I surrounded with my covering even when they were doubted, even when they were tested by the very people they were sent to help. I shielded them with my hand, with wisdom from above, with spiritual discernment, and with the power to know when to speak and when to remain silent. I am doing the same for you now. My wings overshadow you. I am hiding you from hostile eyes, sheltering you in divine anonymity, not because you are weak, but because you are being prepared for something greater. Ah, below, look up and see, my God, I have come. Learn to love secrecy. Be grateful for the things not yet revealed. Know that silence is not delay, it is protection. Learn to listen before you speak, to pray before you share, and to weigh carefully before entrusting your treasures to others. A pearl is not cast into the mud. A promise from heaven is not to be used as bait for the approval of men. Speak only what I permit you to speak. Share only what I open your mouth to share, and what I have not yet permitted, treasure it in your heart, as a mother cradles her firstborn in her arms, guarding each breath, each slumber, knowing the child will one day be seen, but not yet. Now is the time to guard. Now is the time to be silent. Now is the time for me to complete my work in you, undistracted, unshaken, undisturbed. My beloved child, you do not know how many dangers I have withheld from your life simply because you have kept hidden the things I placed in your heart. You do not know how many traps, how many poisonous words, how many jealous glances I have shielded you from because you were faithful in silence. And you cannot imagine what would have happened had you done otherwise. But I see, I know, and I commend you each time you choose restraint over disclosure, each time you turn to me, instead of seeking validation from others. So, my child, continue to live with discernment. Ask me daily for wisdom to know what should be said and what must be kept. And when the time comes, I myself will reveal, will unveil, will proclaim what I have prepared in you. And when I proclaim, no one will be able to deny it. No one will be able to dismiss it. For what is from me will be fulfilled by me. Until then, live hidden. Walk in the light without needing to be seen. Hold tightly to your faith, and I will guard your destiny with my own mighty hand. My beloved child, open your heart wide and listen deeply, for I am teaching you a precious lesson distilled from my eternal wisdom. My ways always differ from yours. They do not follow human logic, nor adhere to earthly timelines, nor rely on the approval or understanding of even those closest to you. I know your heart longs to be understood, to walk with others, to share the things I've sown into your spirit, and this, on a human level, is valid. But remember, heavenly vision is not always received by hearts that are unprepared. Some of the things I give you, profound, powerful, and exceedingly holy, even those who love you dearly may not comprehend, not because they are evil or unloving, but because I have not opened their eyes to see what I am revealing to you alone. Consider Peter, the courageous disciple, the one who walked on water, who confessed the Christ with all his heart. Yet when my son spoke of the cross, of the path of suffering that would lead to glory, Peter rebuked him at once. Not because he was wicked, but because his love for the teacher was limited by fleshly understanding, by a desire to avoid pain and loss. But love without spiritual discernment can become a hindrance, and my son, with compassion but also deep obedience, had to say plainly, "Get behind me, Satan." For he recognized that sometimes, even the dearest ones, if not aligned with the will of God, can become a stumbling block. My child, I know this is not easy. Sometimes the very ones you trust most cannot walk the full journey with you. Sometimes their well-meaning advice may lead you astray from the path I have appointed. And there will be seasons when you must walk alone with me, not because I desire your loneliness, but because I am safeguarding what is holy within you. I am watching over the seed of the vision, so that it is not tainted by misguided input, by human fear, or by the world's fear of failure. Learn to discern what is truly from me, and what, though seemingly wise, is not part of my design. Not every piece of advice should be followed. Not every caring gaze warrants your vulnerability. There are things I give that are meant for you alone, and only you carry the responsibility to protect, nurture, and steward them. You will know whom I have placed to walk beside you, and whom you are to love from a distance. Your wisdom will lie in knowing what to keep and what to speak at the moment I appoint. I do not want you to become suspicious of everyone, but I want you to learn watchfulness, so your heart turns to me before opening up to others. Before asking, "Do they trust me?" first ask, "Do you want me to speak this now?" Before you share the vision, ask me, "Lord, is this the time to proclaim it?" Because there are moments when keeping silence is the greatest act of faith. There are times when silence marks a soul that is mature, unmoved by applause, undeterred by disapproval, led by me alone. My child, if you truly desire to follow me, prepare your heart to walk through seasons where you cannot explain what is happening, cannot convince others to stand with you, and cannot even express everything to those you love. But in those very seasons, I will be your most faithful companion. I will be the one you pour your heart out to, the voice that guides you, the shoulder you lean upon. And it is in that solitude that you will hear me more clearly than ever before. Walk boldly in spiritual wisdom. Let me be the first voice you seek and the last voice you obey. And when I permit, when the time is ripe, I will cause what I have done in you to be revealed with clarity, so unmistakable that no one will be able to deny it. But until that time, hold the vision tightly, like a gem in your hand, not flaunted, not hastened, but guarded with reverence, with obedience, and with the faith that I who began it will also bring it to completion. My beloved child, still your heart, and let these words seep deep into your soul, like the first rain softening the parched earth. You have heard my voice. You have received the command I entrusted to you, and I know that within you burns a longing to obey. Yet between the call from heaven and the clamor of the world, you sometimes hesitate. You still wait for a second confirmation, still seek a nod from others before stepping onto the path I have already set before you. My child, do not look for permission when I have already given you a command. If the Most High has spoken, who else is greater from whom you need to hear? If I, the Creator of heaven and earth, have placed something within your heart, whose validation are you still waiting for? You don't need anyone to approve what I have ordained. You don't need agreement for the plan I am revealing within you. I have not called you to seek opinions. I have called you to obey, even when no one understands, even when all stand against you, even when you are the lone voice in the midst of the noise. Walk in obedience, not in explanation. I have not sent you out to become an orator. I did not issue a command so that you could debate every word, every step. Not everything from heaven needs to be explained to the earth. There are things I do within you that go beyond words, beyond human understanding. So why expend breath convincing those who are not anointed to understand you? Why let the doubts of others cause you to retreat from what I have already confirmed within your heart? Do you not see? The enemy is still at work, subtle but relentless. He does not block your path with visible chains, but with seeds of doubt. He does not need to shout, he only whispers. He doesn't have to scream, "You are wrong." He only needs to ask, "Are you sure?" And that is enough. Enough to shake your heart, to make you seek approval from others, to drive you back to me, questioning what I've already declared long ago. He will place before you those who seem wise, who seem kind, but who are merely assigned to challenge your faith. They are not sent to understand, only to question. They do not ask to listen, only to shake your resolve. And if you are not vigilant, if you share too soon the sacred things I am nurturing within you, you will find yourself trying to defend what was never meant to be defended. You will find yourself exhausted answering questions that lead nowhere, trying to explain what was meant to be held in quiet and in faith. That is why I have called you to silence, not as a burden, not as punishment, and certainly not because I want you hidden forever, but because timely silence is one of the deepest forms of wisdom. I am teaching you how to keep what is holy. I am training you in the art of sacred secrecy, like a warrior who does not flaunt his weapons before battle, like a farmer who does not boast of seeds before the harvest, like a mother who shields her newborn from careless hands. You too must learn to guard what I am forming in you, like a treasure. Understand that the silence I ask of you is not avoidance. It is covering. It is the veil I draw to protect you during your formation. It is the refuge from rumors, from arrows of interrogation, from the probing eyes of judgment. It is the space where you are allowed to grow, to be made strong, to hear me without the distortion of misguided echoes. And there will come a day in my time when I will lift you up, and then you won't need to speak much. My work in you will speak louder. My glory will outshine all argument. And no one, no force will be able to deny what I have done. So, my child, remain silent in trust. Walk with the feet of faith, not needing a blinding light ahead, only believing that my hand is guiding you through the darkness. Do not speak what is not yet ready to be spoken. Do not try to convince those not prepared to understand. Do not justify what I have already confirmed. You do not need to. That is not your role. And as you do this, I, the one who called you, will also be the one who defends you, acts on your behalf, and reveals myself through you. No enemy can stand against what I have ordained. No word of doubt can undo the promise I have engraved on your soul. My beloved child, be silent. Not the silence of surrender, but the silence of one who knows they are standing in the hand of the Almighty. Let your soul be still before me, the one who holds not just each moment you live, but eternity itself. Do not fear what you cannot yet see. Do not panic over delays you do not yet understand. Know that I am God, unchanging, tireless, never breaking. My promise. You do not need to fight in your own strength, for I am the one who fights for you. I not only protect you, I go before you. There are battles you will never see, because I have already won them before you arrive. There are accusations, schemes, traps laid by the enemy, but I have rendered them powerless, simply because you are the one I love. I will establish you, not through your connections, not by your charisma or talents, but by my own hand. My establishing comes not from doors you knock on, but from doors I open. And when I open, no one can shut. When I shut, no power can force its way in. You do not need to prove your worth, for I called you before you knew what worthy even meant. Everything you need, I have prepared. Every place you must go, I have already walked. Every step you will take, I have already seen from eternity. Trust in me. Not just when you feel peace, but especially when all seems unclear. Do not let your mind judge the process I am carrying out. There are days that feel like delays, but are truly shaping. There are seasons that seem barren, but are actually birthing. Do not confuse my silence with absence. I am still at work in the silence, in the depths, in the smallest of details. Trust in my process, even when it defies logic, even when it doesn't align with your plans. My process is never pointless. It is formation for greater things. I am not hasty. I do not entrust my glory to vessels not yet refined. I build from the root. I lay each brick of faith. I test your heart to soften it in my hands. And when you let me lead, you won't just reach the destination. You'll arrive with a heart ready to carry what I place upon it. And above all, my beloved, trust in my timing. My timing is never late. I see the end from the beginning. Nothing surprises me. No future escapes my sight. When I say now, no one can stop it. When I say wait, it is not delay but love. I know exactly when the fields are ripe for harvest, and I will not send you too early or too late. And when that time comes, every door will open in such perfect alignment that you will bow your head and declare, only God could have done this. And never forget, what I have spoken will come to pass. Not maybe, not if conditions are right, but will. No force of darkness can reverse my word. No accusation, no enemy, no circumstance, no delay can steal what I have destined for you. It has been written, not on fading pages, but in the eternal book. It has been sealed in blood, in power, in unchanging love. And because I am faithful, it shall be fulfilled. So my child, be still. Abide in me. Place your trust in me, unshaken, undoubting, unafraid. For I am the one who not only begins the story, but writes every line, every chapter, and brings it to a glorious end. And that ending, which I have already seen, is good, solid, and more radiant than you could ever imagine. I am your God, and what I have promised I will do. Now let me teach you how to pray for your life. Almighty God, I come before you, trembling, yet full of longing. Give me ears to hear and a heart to discern what comes from you and what is merely the echo of the world's confusion. So many voices try to lead me astray, so many hands extended not to lift but to push me off the path you have chosen. Help me not to seek permission from men when you have already given the command. Help me to walk in obedience, without hesitation, without delay, without justification. Guard my heart against the habit of seeking confirmation, and anchor my faith firmly in your voice alone. I choose to obey in silence and in trust. Almighty God, teach me to keep sacred the things you have whispered into my soul. Grant me wisdom to know when to speak and when to remain silent. I know that there are seeds you are nurturing deep within me, and if I reveal them too soon, they may be trampled, questioned, destroyed before they even grow. Give me strength to endure the weight, that I may not be tempted to speak too early, too much. Teach me to guard my mouth, as a gatekeeper would his city, and let me treasure every promise you've given as a precious gem. May I never drop what you are sanctifying in me. Almighty God, the enemy prowls around me, and I feel his whispers, sowing doubt, making me question what you have clearly spoken. Forgive me for the times I wavered, for the moments I longed for human agreement, instead of holding fast to faith in you. Be the one who closes my ears to toxic voices, who shuts my mouth when the words are not from you. Make me steadfast, that I may not open doors to battles that aren't mine, nor give the enemy access to the sacred things meant to stay hidden under your wings. I choose silence, not out of fear, but in full trust of your protection. Almighty God, be the one who hides me in your secret place, as you once hid the prophets, as a mother hides her child in her arms. Shield me from the probing eyes of the enemy, from the criticism of others, from the impatience of my own heart. Place your hand upon my lips, that I may not speak what is not yet due. Help me remember that silence is not failure, it is your strategy. Let me walk boldly in the silence, anointed by faith, in the sacred quietness, clothed in heavenly protection. May I guard what is holy, so that you alone may be glorified when the revelation comes. Almighty God, I thank you for the loving but firm reminders. Thank you for not letting me walk blindly or be swept away by the temptation to speak before the time. I praise you that silence is not punishment, but wise covering from a Father who knows every step I take. Thank you for the doors not yet opened, for the things still hidden. For I believe you hide to preserve, you delay to protect. I praise you as the one who sees beyond what I can see and who loves me deeper than I love myself. Almighty God, I offer thanksgiving for the wisdom you've given. Though the world may see silence as weakness, I know it is your divine strategy to preserve me and to strengthen what is sacred within. I thank you for giving not only commands but detailed, loving guidance. I praise you that every time I choose to be silent, you grant me peace that surpasses understanding. Thank you for always protecting me, even when I cannot see it. My soul rejoices, for you are my strong fortress. Almighty God, thank you for seeing me as worthy to receive a vision. Thank you for not letting me stumble through impatience, but teaching me how to live in holy waiting. Thank you for not requiring me to understand everything, only to trust. And in that trust, I have found sweetness, rest, and strength. I thank you that I do not have to stand alone against the enemy, for you are always ready to shield me beneath your wings. All the good in my life, it comes from you. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.